Hello, and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News Channel. Today, you might have noticed that for the last few weeks, crypto has been following the stock market pretty closely, and I'm here to tell you that that's a trend that's probably here to stay for the most part, and I'm going to tell you why. It's very, very different from 2017 until now, and there's a lot of big changes because if you think about it, there's a lot of funds and big investors that have come in. There's a lot of institutional investment that has come in. And there's a lot of big Wall Streeters that have come in. So, because of those factors, I think crypto is going to more and more resemble the stock market in all asset classes. Crypto will be tied to the stock market and will actually look at inflation rates as well as like interest rates and things like that, because crypto is actually considered another investable asset class. Yes, some people will see it as a hedge against inflation, but most people, including the Wall Street investors, don't. And they're the ones with the real money to buy stuff. Plus, you have to remember, derivatives didn't really exist before 2017. Derivatives and then like leverage was really just introduced the last couple of years. And that will make it even more coincide with the stock market, because when people actually take shorts and longs on like 50, 100x, that's really going to impact the market. And that is going to definitely follow a pattern of the stock market as well. And because now it's a lot of the same big investors that are both investing in the crypto and the stock market. You look at Shark Tank guy Kevin O'Leary. He's essentially in crypto and he's definitely in stocks and other investments too. He probably sees crypto as a risk asset, not really as a hedge against inflation or some magical divine coin or whatever. I know a lot of you disagree with that because you have kind of this emotional attachment towards crypto, that it's supposed to represent freedom or whatnot. But as the big investors see it, it's simply another risk asset. And when they de-risk, they will de-risk risky stocks and assets. And the reason that it's actually tethered to the tech sector is A, because it does actually have something to do with the tech sector. Crypto is considered tech. But B, because the tech sector, blue chips, like tech sector stocks, are actually considered a little bit more volatile, especially like some of those bellwether stocks. People do see crypto being connected to things like Facebook, like PayPal, because those companies actually want to get into crypto right now, whether it's with PayPal's Rails or with Facebook's like failed DM project or with Facebook's new Metaverse project. So all those things make it more connected. But the main thing is it's because more institutional and fat cat investors have come in. And basically, when they make a move in stocks, they'll make a similar move in crypto. If they see that the market is turning bullish, that people have a lot of consumer confidence, they will start initiating buys in both stocks and crypto. And then, of course, most people are just sheep, so they'll just follow along with what the big investors do. Yes, crypto people tend to want to think they're decentralized, but they're just as centralized as any other investor when it comes to thought. People move in herds and groups, and they do too. If you look on Twitter or any kind of crypto media, you will see the most often question is when moon, which basically tells me that crypto is basically looked like as a very volatile stock market, and it is for all intents and purposes by most people. And also they want to know when to buy or like hot tips. If people had truly decentralized thought, they wouldn't be looking for those things. But they look at crypto exactly like the stock market, at least in terms of like big investors and when they want to come in. And even for smaller investors, they're looking for hot tips as well, just like people look for hot stock tips. It's no real, the mentality of crypto investors and stock market investors is really not all that different for the main part. And that's where most of the money lies. So as bigger institutions actually come in, as these ETFs come in, as like leverage and margin trading and all these other derivatives and futures actually comes in, it will resemble the stock market more and more because people tend to make parallel moves between crypto and the stock market. So if you're wondering why crypto and the stock market are actually moving more and more in parallel, that's why, and they will continue to be moving more and more parallel. It's the same reason why like the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ, even though they're two different indexes with different companies, tend to move in the same way. Same thing with the S&P, because they're all responding to economic signals, because investors that invest in one index probably invest in the other indexes too, and they respond the same way because they're all stocks and risk assets. It's pretty much the opposite with bonds, but crypto isn't really looked at like a bond. basically a de-risk asset. Crypto is looked as a risk asset. So it's going to behave much, much like the Dow Jones, and especially like the NASDAQ. And it's going to become more and more that way as time goes on. You might want Bitcoin to act as a hedge for inflation, but as you can see, inflationary fears right now are actually driving down BTC price. Now, because of the massive leverage options that are actually available in crypto, I do think crypto will always be a little bit more volatile in stocks, especially with smaller cryptos. But the fact is, they can't really escape the stock market's grip either, because like the big money invests in both. And when they want to de-risk, they will de-risk both, and they'll probably de-risk crypto even more than the less volatile stock market. And when they want to buy, they will buy both too. And since people are sheep and they just basically follow what the big institutions are doing, they're going to accelerate that effect in both stocks and crypto. So it's the herd mentality that people haven't really broken out of. And basically, like the same people are calling the same signals for both the stocks and the crypto market right now because these large crypto investors have actually come in. That's why the Dow Jones futures and the NASDAQ futures for the next day have become one of the best indicators for how crypto is actually going to act around the opening bell. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe and hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.